Welcome back, party people, to the topic of the week. The topic of the week this week is mainly suggestions of how to cope through addiction. So, we're going to be speaking about cocaine addiction and some of the ways that you can make your life a little easier, because there's one thing that I'd like to say is if you aren't at that point yet where this drug is really destroying your entire life and you're still enjoying it, then you're going to continue doing it, right? Until you find a reason to stop. And so I wished I'd had some kind of suggestions of how to, clear my nose and get through these sinus infections and all of the things that you will have if you're using, and also if you've used over a long period of time. These are things that will probably affect you for the rest of your life. So I've been clean for years and I still have problems with my nose. I get a lot of sinus infections. And so obviously we need to deal with that, right? So whether you are using right now or you are not using or you're in recovery or you're not, it doesn't matter. These are just gentle suggestions to get through this horrendous time. So you will be bunged up, right? It's just, you're putting a shitload of stuff up there and we need to clear that out. And obviously you can buy nasal sprays and so on, but that's not very healthy. So if you take some lukewarm water and you take natural salt, it could be Himalayan salt or sea salt, but it has to be natural. And then you need to taste it. It can't be too salty because it will burn, because all of this will be open, right? So take some lukewarm water, put maybe a teaspoon in it, really let it dissolve, and then sniff that up. Do each nostril and then hold it for a little bit and do it again. Don't overdo it because we don't want it to be painful. It may be painful. Anyway, as long as you can hold that up there, that salty liquid, for as long as possible, you will probably end up sneezing, which would be a nice relief. And if you don't, just gently clear your nose. If you do this at least twice a week, don't do it every day because we don't want to dry out the nose too much. That brings me on to my next topic. So there is a cream that it's more like a gel. Obviously, you're putting cocaine up there, right? That's got petrol in it. It's got all sorts of things that it's cut with, fish scale, God knows what else they put in there. I mean, I remember seeing someone literally chip paint off the wall and put it in the bag. I was like, what are you doing? It's all right, it's fine, I'll just sell it. Like, we don't know what we're putting up there. And actually, another thing that I wanted to mention, if you are still enjoying using cocaine, then please be aware that this is not maintainable. It really isn't. And it may be fun now, but you will suffer at one point. And I know each person has to have their own journey, but it really is a hard one. And if you are struggling at the moment, then I just want to say I empathize. It's a difficult addiction to have, but this does not define you. You're not an addict. You will, of course, you're struggling with addiction, but this is not your identity. You're not just the cocaine user, the cokehead, whatever they may call you, or whatever you may identify as, okay? So that is not who you are. You are a beautiful soul who's been hurt, and this is the way that you're coping through getting away from the pain, to fill yourself up with something that feels like love or happiness, pleasure and joy, but it's not, right? We are capable of we're capable of giving ourselves that love, that kindness, that nourishment. Either way, let's continue. So your nose will be very, very dry from within, and you may notice that you get big clumps within your nose, whether you're using or not. Mainly if you're using, it'll be quite bad. And obviously you need to get that out. So Himalayan salt is great. If you really, really bunged up, put more salt in it and it will affect you and it will all come out. But to make it even smoother, and I know some of this is gross, but if you've been using for longer, you know exactly what I mean, and it sucks. So there is a cream that you can use, but I'm going to give a suggestion that is completely natural, and you can make that choice. You can put coconut oil within your nose. So you can take a Q-tip, put some coconut oil in and just gently, obviously check that you aren't allergic to coconuts, please, before you do this. These are just suggestions. This is your choice if you do this or not. If you place it within, really put as much as you possibly can in there so there's some lubrication, because it's all dried and you'll have damaged any of the mucus glands and so on, and that's going to really affect you, and it's going to be very painful, causing you to have headaches, migraines, earaches, throat, the mouth sores. I mean, the list goes on. We're moving on to another topic, which is any sores within your mouth, your gums and so on. They will hurt. It might not be continuously, but because your immune system is weakened through using this drug, right? And also from the depression, from being down, of course, it's going to affect your immune system. Also, your stress levels, cortisol, weakens the immune system. And so we need to work with this. If you can, take as much vitamin C as recommended, and also anything for your immune system and inflammation. So turmeric tablets or just natural turmeric. Ginger, eat ginger in the morning is vital. I know these things don't sound like they will have an effect on you, because when we're like, no, I want something that will get the pain away now, because we want everything instantly. But this is just to keep your body alive and to not crumble, and if you're using, you don't want to stop, or you can't right now because you don't have the means to stop, then at least nourish your body in between, right? This is what I'm saying, because we let ourselves go. And our rooms look like a crack den, and we judge ourselves by it. We look around and it looks dirty, and and there's an ashtray and there's just shit everywhere, and we can't be bothered because we're just like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm just gonna avoid it. No, this is not. We can use for the time being and still maintain our dignity. Okay, whenever that time comes for you, when you're ready to take that step, that's a different story. I'm just here to give you some support and some guidance, whether you're ready or not. So for the mouth sores, if you take extra virgin olive oil and every morning wake up, swirl that around in your mouth. And if they're really sore and they're open, then I'd be careful. Maybe you can test it out a little bit. But basically what that olive oil does is it's antibacterial, and it causes a layer to cover those sores. So then, when you're eating, or especially if you're eating bread, it doesn't cut it as much, and it just soothes it in a natural way, rather than, again, taking a numbing mouthwash that isn't healthy, that you can't take every day. With olive oil, you can swirl that around your mouth as many times as you want a day, and it won't affect you negatively. So that's good, right? Okay, another thing is taking a warm a bowl with the lukewarm water. You can put tea tree oil, I think that's what you call it in English, or any sort of herbal smells that you like, just to kind of inhale it, so you're getting some moisture up within your nose and also in your lungs. There are actually some very affordable oxygen masks, right? It's a tiny little bottle, it's about this big. I think it's like 90% oxygen with a little mask on it. You will have problems with your lungs, probably, most likely, depending if you're smoking crack or if you're consuming, in whichever way, because obviously you're inhaling, and that is very, very painful. And so just cleansing that out a little bit. If you live near the sea, dip your head in the sea and clear out that nose, because the longer you keep that stuff up there, the more risk of you getting a sinus infection and getting other infections, and it's just horrendously painful. And the more pain you're in, the more you're going to use. I know that sounds messed up, but we know it, right? That is what we do. Okay, what else? The other thing that I wanted to suggest. I know this is hard. This is it's so difficult. And I remember the times when I looked at my room and my living room, and I just thought, what an absolute pile of shit. it's not even, it was just bottles everywhere. It was just dirty and messy, and it smelt, and it was just so revolting, and I felt so dirty, and I just didn't care about myself anymore. Every day, I want you to set yourself a little thing that you can tick off your list, which is doing something that shows love towards yourself. You don't need to, if you don't believe that you're lovable, that's okay. We're not going to force you to believe anything that you aren't willing to take on. But at least do your bed. It's a simple thing. Every day, whether you've woken up at 5 in the afternoon or 9 in whenever, make your bed. Just make your bed. All the other crap can stay around. Make your bed every morning. Or every day I will have a shower. I know these things seem like very logical and obvious, but actually we don't, because we're so wired. We're standing in the shower like, oh, there's someone outside my door. Oh my God, I saw a shadow. There's no one there, but the paranoia is driving us absolutely nuts that we can't actually do anything, and we're constant tension causing us so many different pains. So I'd like you to just do the little simple things of, today I'm going to brush my hair. Today I'm going to cut my nails. Today I'm going to paint my toenails if that's what you're into, right? I know these things seem very obvious, but actually we need someone to mother us. And because it's hard to trust, right? You've been hurt over and over and over again. And when you've trusted, that trust has been taken advantage of, it's difficult to trust again. And you don't need to trust everyone. That's not a necessity, as long as you start trusting yourself and you are able to admit, like, I have a problem. I have a problem and I need help. What can I do? YouTube is an amazing platform, and that's why I love posting these videos here, because it can reach anyone and it's free. Well, it is free. So if you really are stuck, there are so many different videos that you can watch. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Marissa Peer, Abraham Hicks, my videos. And on my website, leliahypnosis.com, I've got a free hypnotic audio for addiction. I think it's called Freedom from Addiction. And you can use, even if you're not a cocaine addict and it's alcohol or tablets or sex or porn or whatever, or even sugar, you can listen to it and you'll identify with it. There's some energy work in it, so make sure that you drink a lot of water afterwards. And obviously, if you are affected by epilepsy or psychosis, I recommend that you do not listen to this recording, because it may trigger you. Most likely it won't, but I wouldn't take any risks. Either way, feel free to go onto my website and to download that. There are no hidden secret payments. This is purely for you. It's free, and I will be posting that one soon on YouTube as well. If you have any suggestions on things that you'd like me to talk about, any questions that you may have, how to get through this, any recommendations, then please feel free to send me a private message on leliahypnosis.com, on my website, or on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm on all of them. There's a way of getting through this, you know. I thought I would die, and I was hoping I would die every night. I was like, yes, I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack, so that would be good. That would be good. Now I can be released from this horrendous pain, because we're so conflicted and we feel so guilty and we feel so worthless, and that needs to stop. That needs to stop, because yes, you are responsible, right? I'm not saying you aren't responsible for your actions, but have some compassion. If you are really trying, have some compassion. Okay, I used today, and I feel like shit. I feel guilty, and I said I wouldn't, and I did it anyway, and I fucked up, and I did this, and I robbed this, and I punched him, and I left my child, and I did whatever. Okay, these are all bad things. Acknowledge that. But what I did was wrong, and I feel guilty. But I'm so sorry that I need to use a substance that is actually killing me to live. I'm so sorry that I'm in so much pain, and that I feel and think so badly of myself. I'm so sorry that I'm in pain. And actually, self-soothing, right? You are your own mother. You are your own father. You need to become that parent. And whether you can say these words or not, you don't need to say words. Stroking. It seems very basic, but it makes a huge difference. You know, when someone just gently pats your arm and you just feel like, oh, physical contact. Physical contact, we don't have any because we're using on our own. When you get to that level where you're really deep in the addiction, you'll be on your own most of the time and you're not going to be touched by anyone. And if you are, it's not going to be enjoyable. Or maybe it is for you. For me, it wasn't. I didn't have any physical contact with anyone. And when I did, it was literally like I lavished it up when someone hugged me. But we don't need that other person if at that moment in time there is no one there that you trust, or there's no, for whatever reason. Gently, if you're really in one of those moments of consumed guilt and you just feel so broken, just take a moment, you know, place your hand on your chest or wherever it feels soothing, right? We're all different. Maybe a hand on your belly, but just gently stroke yourself and like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You're doing all right. You're doing the best you can for these circumstances. You're going to get through this. This too shall pass. It's going to be okay. It's all right. You know, this is very loving. And I'm not saying that's going to solve your problem and poof, magic, the cocaine addiction is gone. No, it's not. But a little bit of love makes things so much easier, right? And the biggest thing that you need to work on is letting go. We hold so much pain and resentment and anger and guilt and real rage. I mean, I was like a dragon. If someone had wronged me, I would make a plan and not follow through with it. But in my mind, that's very toxic thoughts. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get him, and I know him, and he's the stress, right? It's all bollocks. It's all, we aren't very stable when we're using. We get so paranoid. Everyone's out to get us, apparently, and they're not. Sometimes they are, depending on your circumstances, right? If you're in the hood and you're part of a gang and then someone is out to get you, then of course I take that seriously, right? But if you're living, you know, in your apartment and the woman at the supermarket looked at you funny, like, she's stalking me, she knows what no, none of these thoughts. Question your thoughts is what I'm getting at. Summary of that long story. Question your thoughts. If you're using, you cannot allow this fear to control you because it's so exhausting. Either way, if you ever want some emotional support, I very much specialize in cocaine addiction. I know as much as I know from my experience, right? I love to help. It is very fulfilling to see my clients just become clean. I mean, I could burst into tears. I won't because I'm a balanced human being. But it is a wonderful feeling to see someone get clean. It really, and this is the greatest gift that I was given through having this addiction. I don't regret any of it. Obviously, you know, I wish certain things didn't happen, but in hindsight, they needed to happen for me to know that kind of physical, emotional, and spiritual pain. And every time I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm an RTT therapist, I do all sorts of things. I'm continuing to study and so on, and I'm still healing. Things come up. My son triggers me, my boyfriend triggers me, my mom, my dad, my sister. Not all the time, right? But every time you heal, you learn to cope better and let go. If I have an argument with my partner, and then do I then continuously blame that person, or do I own some of the responsibility onto myself, right? Anyway, either way, I hope you got something from this. I know I'm in very chilled clothes today, but this is the only moment, and I just wanted to get that out there. And I'm so sorry that it's taken so long for me to make another video. I'm so limited on time, but I'm grateful that you're all here watching my videos and supporting me, and I hope I am supporting you. Anyway, I wish you all the love and the kindness and the tenderness and the nurturing energy that you could possibly receive. And you have so much greatness within you. If you knew what your life could look like it would make you stop instantly. But because we feel so broken, we can't see that. We only see the bad, the dark, and the horror. But one day you'll come out of this and you will see that it was all worth it in the end. If you need help, I'm here for you. Take care. Bye-bye.